Hello, thanks for joining me today. My name is Tom McDermott. I'm the Managing Director of Agility Hospitality. I formed Agility Hospitality to help hospitality and tourism businesses drive more value through streamlining processes. When I say more value, I mean stronger satisfaction levels for customers, more empowerment for team members, and better bottom line for owners. Over the next 15 minutes or so today, we're going to talk about what continuous improvement means. We're going to talk about Lean and Six Sigma and the differences between the two. We're also going to talk about customer value and the different types of customer value that exist in this scenario. And lastly, I'm going to introduce you to some Lean tools, many of which you could put into place today and start getting the benefits from tomorrow.
So how do you get Lean in 2021? The first thing is to establish a continuous improvement mindset in your business. And this is described as a bottom-up and leader-led culture. It's very important that team members are involved in establishing the reasons of why processes needs to improve. They understand the pain points from the customer's perspective. Also, what makes their lives harder in order to deliver a service to the customer. But before you can even ask team members what their thoughts are, it's very important that the leaders set the example. They create the environment that it's safe and it's acceptable for team members to criticize a process that perhaps the managers themselves have put into place at some point. And once that environment is established, the results can be amazing. If you've got team members that are actively looking for ways to improve the process, it's better for them, better for the customer, it's inevitably going to be better for the business too. I really like this quote from Ed Catmull. He's the co-founder of Pixar. These are the company who make these amazing animated movies such as Toy Story. He said, "Managers can't mandate trust and respect. This must be earned over time. What we can do is construct an environment that nurtures trusting and respectful relationships and unleashes everyone's creativity." So that's the bottom-up and leader-led culture in action. So what is Lean and Six Sigma? Well, these are terms that have been around for quite a while, but Lean really helps to identify and reduce waste in processes. Six Sigma helps to reduce inconsistency in the product or the service. And Lean Six Sigma just combines the benefits of both. You really need to have the benefits of both, I believe, in any operation to fully understand what it is that needs to be done to improve those processes. So the benefits of Lean in hospitality are huge. First of all, very obviously, you've got more engaged team members. Ask your team members, what's the best way to fix this problem? By asking team members, you're getting their engagement. You're involving them in the process. When they're involved in the process, they own the outcomes because they've helped to develop that next stage of the process, which is more optimized for customer service. And speaking of customer service, of course, customers are going to be more satisfied with a more efficient process. They're going to be more satisfied with happier team members, more engaged team members who are genuinely interested in their experience. So absolutely, customer metrics will improve when the benefits of Lean and Six Sigma are fully implemented in a business. Of course, cost savings and cost avoidance can be the end product of a very effective Lean and Six Sigma project. They're not the only motivation. More important is satisfied customers, more engaged team members. And if you've got those two things first, then you will see the benefits of cost savings or avoiding costs completely. When team members are engaged in the process, and I mean fully engaged in the process, where they are asked their opinions on a frequent basis, every month, every week, every day, what would you do to improve the process? When something goes wrong, are you involving your team members in how to fix that problem so it doesn't reoccur? Not in a critical way, but in a way where you can work together to continually improve that process. When you've got this embedded in the DNA of the team members, then continuous improvement of processes happens automatically. We saw during COVID-19 how creative and entrepreneurial our hospitality businesses became. There was takeaway pints, there was afternoon teas in a box. There was lots of things that happened that would never have happened before. So when businesses have this continuous improvement mindset, they become more entrepreneurial. Their enhanced creativity helps them to come up with new ideas, better ideas, more innovative ideas to help to drive the business forward. So one thing to note is customers are only interested in paying for value-adding activities. If you're trying to figure out whether an activity adds value or not, try to put yourself in the customer's shoes. It may surprise you to note that somewhere between 30 and 50% of all of the hours used in operational departments in hotels are not value-adding. They're broken down in a couple of different ways. There's non-value-adding activities which just shouldn't be done. They can be stopped straight away. These are activities that are adding no benefit at all to the process. Other activities are necessary non-value-adding activities. We need to reduce some of those. So they could be things like completing end-of-shift reports where they're necessary for the business, don't add much value to the customer, but perhaps we're doing some of those tasks because we've always done them, because that's the way I was trained. The reason those reports we run in the first place no longer exists. I found that in so many occasions where people are doing what they think they should do, the way they were trained to do it, and they're not questioning why they're doing it. An example of non-value-adding activities would be looking for glasses to serve a drink to a customer in the bar. There's no value to the customer in a team member going off looking for glasses that should have been there in the first place. That should all have been part of the mise en place. So that's a non-value-adding activities. So the way to resolve that is to make sure, as part of the pre-opening checklist, that the glasses are there. Sounds simple, it's harder to execute. So in summary, what we're trying to do is to increase the value-adding activities. We're trying to remove or stop doing the non-value-adding activities, and we're trying to reduce the necessary non-value-adding activities. So let's take a look at some of the lean tools. I've been told by managers in the past that my team have never come up with a suggestion before until I give them a tool. So I'm going to talk you through some of the more common tools that could be implemented in your business, and hopefully they'll add some value. So the first one I want to look at is called Mood Check, and this is really categorizing the 8 different types of waste. They break down as follows: transportation, inventory, motion, waiting, over-processing, overproduction, defects, and skills. Now in reality, you don't need to remember all those, but where they become very, very valuable is if you're going to be conducting an observation process, looking at all of the different activities that take place within that process, and you start to categorize the reasons why a non-value-adding activity exists. Process mapping is another great way to involve the team in a continuous improvement activity. Team members understand precisely all of the different process steps involved in any service to the customer. So in this case here, it's a bedroom cleaning process. So when you complete this process mapping exercise, you do a current state map. So what happens currently? And you plot, using post-it notes on a board, what happens currently. The next stage is to then look at what are all the different pinch points and points of waste, points of non-value-adding activities, and what's the reason for them, and can they be reduced or can they be removed completely. And then by the time you go through this process, you'll find that you'll have a very, very different map at the end than you had when you started, which then needs to be tested, and that's going to be your new optimized process as time goes on. 5S is one of my favorites. My grandmother always said, a place for everything and everything in its place. I think she was ahead of her time where it came to process improvement. But anyway, it's all about sorting, set in order, shine, standardize, and sustain. It's about making sure all the items you need for your work is in the one place, it's at your fingertips, it's got the right quantity, it's clean, it's ready for use. You take the example in the pictures here, you've got a really, really messy cupboard with all the different supplies, and after you apply a 5S process to it, it becomes an awful lot more streamlined. Everything is labelled, everything's in the right quantity, it is where it should be. So if you look at a storeroom in a business, you'll probably find that there's a lot of items in there that are there just in case. Never needed, used it 2 summers ago, haven't used it since, it's been broken, not required anymore. Just empty the whole storeroom out, separate out what you need, what you don't need, get rid of the stuff you don't need, and then rearrange everything in this fashion so that it's there, ready for use when you need it. A spaghetti diagram, again, is a very fun activity for staff. This is a way of visualizing the flow of people or products around a department. So it could be used in the restaurant, could be used in the kitchen, could be used in an office setting. It's very effective in an office setting, actually. So this helps to identify bottlenecks in your process, in your movement of people or your movement of goods. If you've got people that are traveling too far, it will identify it. If you've got too many people traveling to the one area and blocking things up, it will identify that too. And it's a really good, easy activity for team members to do, and it helps to raise some vital questions to help them to challenge the process and make it better. When you've completed the spaghetti diagram, you're going to have a lot of questions that need to be answered. And the best way of answering these questions is to ask why. Not just once, but maybe 5 times, maybe 6 times, maybe even more. If you can imagine a young child, I've got 2 of them. They keep asking why. They're curious. They want to know more. They want to get to the bottom line. It's the very same in this situation. Root cause analysis is really getting to the bottom line. What is the actual reason that this is taking place? A really good demonstration of this is a funny video that's on YouTube. It features a comedian called Louis C.K. The clip is called Why Dad Why, where his daughter asks him why, not just 5 times, but a few more times. It really emphasizes the point. So they're the tools I wanted to share with you today. I want to leave you with a couple of takeaways. First of all, continuous improvement. It starts with a bottom-up and leader-led approach. Really important that team members are fully engaged in any continuous improvement process. The leader's job is to create the environment where team members feel free, feel safe to be able to make their suggestions and criticize the process. Experiment with the tools. Try them out. Team members will enjoy using them as well. Some of the tools will help them come up with some ideas, some suggestions that they won't know before they try out the tool. And lastly, it may interest you to know that the local enterprise office have a program called Lean for Micro. If you're a business with 50 employees or less, perhaps you can get some funding or a grant to be able to help to implement Lean in your business. I want to leave you with some of the services that I provide at Agility Hospitality. First of all, we do these lean transformation projects. This works best when it happens on site. We work with your managers to help you to implement some of the lean tools I talked about and some other steps in improving your processes. We also conduct training for your team. This can be in Lean and Six Sigma. It could also be in creativity, innovation, design thinking, revenue management and commercial training too. We conduct commercial reviews, and we can also assist with market research and feasibility studies. We've also started working with a technology company to deploy labour management systems. These systems are fantastic where it comes to helping you plan, schedule and analyse how labour is used in your business. So we've reached the end for today. Thank you very much for listening. Hopefully I provided some food for thought, maybe some inspiration for you today. These are all my contact details. Please get in touch if I can be of any assistance at all. Thank you very much.